The Citi Trifecta might be the best all-around travel credit card setup for maximizing your return in pretty much all major spending categories, with 3 cards that only cost a combined $95 per year and work so well together. But there's still a few negatives that, in my opinion, kind of hold it back a bit. So throughout this video, I want to talk about 3 reasons why I think the Citi Trifecta is an almost perfect credit card setup. Plus, I'll go over 3 disadvantages that, again, kind of hold it back a bit. And I'll also cover exactly the type of person that the Citi Trifecta is best for, as well as the reason why I personally do not have it right now. But let's start off here with a quick overview of the 3 Citi credit cards that make up this trifecta. So those are the no annual fee Citi Double Cash, the no annual fee Citi Custom Cash, and the $95 per year Citi Premier. So first, let's talk about the Double Cash, which again costs nothing to hold and is probably one of the most famous credit cards on the market right now because it's so basic but also very reliable in many situations. Now, the reason for that is because the Double Cash earns a flat 2% cash back on everything by getting 1% back when you buy something and another 1% back when you pay down your balance for those purchases. So because we should always be paying off our credit cards on time and in full every single month anyway, that effectively makes this an easy 2% back card. And in this setup, we can use that for what we call a catch-all card for miscellaneous expenses that are not covered by higher multipliers from other cards in the Citi Trifecta. Now, the cool thing here, and the reason why the Double Cash fits into this setup so well, is that you're actually earning cash back in the form of Citi Thank You Points. And what you can do is then later on convert those points into cash back very easily at a rate of 1 cent per point. So basically, like it says on their website, that's 1 point earned per dollar spent and then 1 other point earned per dollar as you pay off the balance. So 2 points per dollar in total, which easily converts to become 2% back in value if you prefer to have a cashback setup. However, what we're going to do here to get more value instead is we're just going to hold on to those points we earn from this card, because in the Citi Trifecta, eventually what we're going to do is get the Citi Premier card, and that's going to give us access to a number of really great airline and hotel transfer partners. And with those transfer partners, we'll be able to get much higher than just 1 cent per point in value. So the goal is to find travel redemptions that get us closer to maybe 2 to 3 cents per point on the low side, or even sometimes much higher than that. So for example, if we say that over 1 year, we spend on average $500 per month on random miscellaneous expenses on the Citi Double Cash, and we earn 2x points per dollar on that, that would be 1,000 points per month or 12,000 points per year. And if we redeemed all that for cash back at only 1 cent per point, which is the highest value that we can use on the Double Cash card alone, then that becomes worth $120 for cash back per year, which isn't too bad. But if we save those 12,000 points per year and then later on we get the Citi Premier card, then we could take advantage of the transfer partners over on that credit card, and we can usually find ways to get around 2 to 3 cents per point in value or more. So those 12,000 points become worth $240 to $360 or more. Now, the only 2 disadvantages of the Double Cash are that, first of all, there is a 3% foreign transaction fee, which makes this a bad option to use on purchases outside the US. But more importantly, second of all, is that typically there is no sign-up bonus on the Double Cash card, and sign-up bonuses are the quickest way to get a lot of value very fast upfront from credit cards. So I've always looked at the lack of a sign-up bonus on the Double Cash as something that's holding it back from being truly great, even though sometimes Citi does run limited time offers, but honestly, it's pretty rare for them to do that. So if you see a limited time offer, then I would jump on it while you can. Now, luckily for the second card in the Citi Trifecta, we have the no annual fee Citi Custom Cash, and this does have a pretty good sign-up bonus that's typically for $200 of cash back after spending $1,500 in the first 6 months. So kind of a higher minimum spend on a $200 bonus compared to some other cards in the market, but at least you have 6 months to hit that, so that's pretty easy to do. Now, just like the Double Cash, the reason why the Custom Cash works so well in the Citi Trifecta is because this card also earns Citi Thank You Points when you read the fine print on Citi's website. So for example, with that sign-up bonus, $200 of cash back is really earned as 20,000 thank you points, which can then be converted into $200 of cash back at that same 1 cent per point rate. But like we just talked about, we actually could take those same 20,000 points from the Custom Cash card and combine them with the Citi Premier card once we get that card. And then we can use the transfer partners over there on the Premier to get around 2 to 3 cents per point in value or more. So that turns those 20,000 points into $400 to $600 or more of value towards travel if we redeem those a little more strategically. Now, the Custom Cash also stays true to its name because you could sort of customize the way this card earns points from everyday spending. And the way this works is you get 5% cash back, or really 5x points per dollar in your highest eligible spend category each billing cycle on up to $500 of spending before going down to 1% cash back or 1x point per dollar. Plus, you get 1x point per dollar on any spending outside of your highest eligible category as well. Now, 1 point per dollar is not really too good since we're able to get double that with 2 points per dollar using the Double Cash card. So what we really want to do here with the Custom Cash is basically just focus on how we can get max value from that 5x category. So the best way that I found to do that is just by simply identifying what categories are eligible to earn 5x back. And then I would just basically use the custom cash card for only one out of those categories in a billing cycle where I know I'm gonna be spending a lot of money. Now, the 10 eligible categories here are restaurants, gas stations, grocery stores, select travel, select transit, select streaming services, drugstores, home improvement stores, fitness clubs, and live entertainment. So what I like to do is I just look ahead at what spending I have coming up each month. And like I said, I just see which one of those 10 categories I'm gonna spend the most money. I use my custom cash card for only that one category to lock in getting 5x back in that category because it becomes my highest category by default. And Citi will just automatically track that and then give me 5x back in that category. Now, the Citi Custom Cash does have a 3% foreign transaction fee. So again, not a great option to use outside the US. But other than that, it's a very flexible card that can basically be used in a number of ways within the Citi Trifecta to sort of fill in the gaps where you want it to. However, when we take a look at the Citi Premier next here for the third card in the Citi Trifecta, you're gonna see that most categories are already covered pretty well by that card. So with the Premier, you're getting 3x Citi Thank You Points per dollar on restaurants, supermarkets, gas stations, air travel, and hotels, plus 1 point per dollar on all other purchases. But again, we only want to focus on the 3x categories here to maximize value and then put the all other purchases on the double cash to earn 2x points. You also get a standard sign-up bonus of 60,000 points after spending $4,000 in the first 3 months. And that's a pretty generous offer and compares well with a standard 60,000 point offer from a similar card from Chase called the Sapphire Preferred. And like the Sapphire Preferred, the Citi Premier also has a $95 annual fee, which is not too bad at all considering it's the only annual fee in the Citi Trifecta. And by paying the annual fee, you're basically unlocking the ability to transfer the points you earn from all 3 of these Citi cards out to get more value for travel. So again, just to show you the value of that sign-up bonus when you transfer points versus other methods, those 60,000 points will be worth $600 for things like cashback, gift cards, or even travel booked directly through Citi's portal, which is not what we want to do here. So what we want to do, like I mentioned a couple times already throughout this video, is to find good deals with points where we get at least 2 to 3 cents per point or more by transferring them. And that would make the same 60,000 points worth between $1,200 and $1,800 or more in value. Now, even though the sign-up bonus and the annual fee are both the same on the Citi Premier card and the Chase Sapphire Preferred, the point multipliers on the Premier are much, much better than the ones you'll find over on the Sapphire Preferred card because, like I said, you're getting 3x and a few really useful everyday spending categories like restaurants, supermarkets, and gas stations. And even though the Sapphire Preferred gets 3x on dining at restaurants as well, it only gets 3x back for online groceries and has no gas category at all. So I gotta say the Citi Premier is the better option out of these two $95 per year cards in terms of everyday spending multipliers. However, where the Citi Premier basically falls short are its travel insurance protections and other things like that. That's because those things are pretty much non-existent on this credit card. So back in 2019, Citi got rid of a lot of travel protections and some other really cool benefits it had across a lot of its cards. And when you're paying an annual fee for a travel credit card, you kind of expect to at least get some sort of insurance in the event that a trip or baggage gets delayed or you want coverage for a rental car. So the fact that the Citi Premier card is lacking these benefits is kind of disappointing when cards like the Chase Sapphire Preferred have great travel insurance protections and things like primary auto rental coverage. Now, obviously, we all hope that we never have to use any of that travel insurance stuff in the first place, but not having these things can be a deal breaker for many people out there because they like to have some sort of peace of mind when they're out traveling. But I do know that some other people might not really care about this at all. So the bottom line here is the Citi Premier is great for its everyday 3x spending multipliers, but it's missing a lot of benefits that a travel credit card should have, like travel insurance. There's also no airport lounge access or anything like that, so just keep that in mind. Now, the Citi Premier does still have no foreign transaction fees and zero liability for unauthorized charges, so it's good to hear that both of those things can still be found here. Plus, there's also a couple of other features that might or might not be useful to you, such as getting 10x back on hotel and car rental bookings through the Citi Travel Portal through the end of June 2024, and you also get a $100 annual hotel savings benefit. Now, the hotel savings benefit is only going to give you $100 back if you book a single hotel stay of $500 or more through Citi. So honestly, I kind of value this credit at $0, but every now and then someone might find a good use for it, so it's worth mentioning. But okay, so with all those details about the 3 credit cards that make up the Citi Trifecta, here's 3 reasons why it's almost perfect, 3 disadvantages, who the setup is best for, and why I don't currently have it as a part of my own credit card strategy. So the first reason why it's almost perfect is because it only costs $95 per year, which is very cheap compared to some other setups out there like the $945 Amex Trifecta or the $395 Capital One Duo. Some people just don't want to pay high annual fees for a credit card setup, And even though there's other more expensive setups out there come with credits that can sometimes offset those high annual fees, I know many people would rather just pay one small fee up front that's under $100 and then be done with it, and then not have to keep track and use a bunch of these credits. The second reason why the Citi Trifecta is almost perfect is because it covers pretty much all major spending categories very well, whereas setups from other issuers are missing a lot or there's some overlap across cards. So the Citi Premier earns 3x points per dollar on restaurants, supermarkets, gas stations, air travel, and hotels, and that's unlimited and worldwide on all those things too, so you can use that card outside the US with no restrictions and no foreign transaction fees. The Amex Trifecta does get 4x on groceries with the Amex Gold card, but that's only at US supermarkets and only up to $25,000 in purchases per year, so the Citi Premier is actually the better option for groceries if you're traveling outside of the US. And then the Amex Trifecta, Chase Trifecta, and Capital One Duo are all missing a dedicated gas category, whereas the Citi Premier card has you covered with that as well. The Citi Custom Cash card is also really versatile, like I said before, because you can effectively change up where you want to get 5x back every single billing cycle by just changing where you're spending with that card. And what I like about the Custom Cash compared to something like the Freedom Flex that earns 5x in rotating categories within the Chase Trifecta is that the categories here are not predetermined by the issuer, and you don't have to activate anything like Chase makes you do every single quarter on that Freedom Flex. The 2x back on everything else with the Double Cash is also just really solid and helps to round out the setup pretty well. So I think with the Citi Trifecta, you're covering a lot of your spending with high multipliers that's going to earn you many points if you have moderately high spend. The third reason why it's almost perfect is that Citi has some really great travel transfer partners and transfer bonuses that can allow you to get even more value from your thank you points that all these cards earn. So like we talked about before, instead of getting just 1 cent per point, where 100,000 points is going to get you $1,000 of value, transferring your points can get you at least $2,000 to $3,000 worth of travel value instead if you save up and then redeem those points strategically for travel. Now, some of these transfer partners are going to include Avianca, which can be used to book United Airlines and other Star Alliance partners. There's Singapore Airlines, Emirates, Air France KLM, and many more. And we'll make a full video on how to redeem Citi points for max value, so make sure you go ahead and subscribe down below if you want to see that. And also, we'll have links down below to many of these credit cards and some other ones if you want to learn more and help support the channel. So thank you again to anyone that uses those links. Now, Citi and some of those transfer partners also run a lot of good bonus promotions where, for example, you can occasionally find deals like a 25% bonus out to some of those programs, like I just mentioned, like Avianca and Air France. So if you save up your points and stay patient, then you can find some amazing travel deals on some really cool economy or business class flights that can save you a ton of money. Now, the disadvantages are also important to point out here because, like I said at the beginning of this video, no credit card setup is truly perfect. So those disadvantages are going to be the fact that there's basically no travel insurance protections or a lot of other benefits related to travel within the Citi Trifecta. So that means no airport lounge access, no TSA pre-check credits, and stuff like that. The second disadvantage is there's also no standard sign-up bonus on the Double Cash card, which is kind of disappointing, even though this is a really solid 2% card. And the third disadvantage is there's not really any good credits to offset the annual fee. But again, that's not too big of a deal here because most people will easily get enough value from things like the point multipliers and the transfer partners to easily justify the $95 fee. So who is this setup gonna be best for, and why do I not currently have it? Well, I think these 3 Citi cards together is going to be best for the person that doesn't want to pay high annual fees up front and then have to manage all these credits and stuff like that, which other more expensive credit card setups have. But I also think this setup is best for people who plan to redeem the points for travel with those transfer partners on the Citi Premier. So I'd say this is a setup for someone that does sort of a medium amount of travel as well. Not someone that travels every single month, but maybe someone who travels 3 to 4 times per year. But it's also going to be someone that doesn't mind the fact that there's no travel insurance protections and other stuff like that, because again, that is an important consideration. So no airport lounge access, no travel insurance. And I think the Citi Trifecta can also be good as sort of a secondary trifecta setup to combine alongside other setups, because you could sort of fill in the gaps by using these cards. That's basically how I view the Citi Trifecta and my own long-term credit card strategy. So I already got the Citi Custom Cash card to use almost entirely as a gas card to get 5x points per dollar on gas. And so far with the sign-up bonus and using it for gas, I've been able to save up a little over 30,000 Citi points in over 6 months. And then later on, if there's ever an elevated sign-up bonus above the standard 60,000 points for the Citi Premier, then I'll probably add that card too, so I can have over 100,000 Citi points inside my account that I can transfer out to those partners and get a lot of value for. Now, I don't really see myself having the Citi Premier card long-term at least and using it as my primary travel card because again, it lacks those travel protections, and I don't see myself getting the Double Cash either because there is no sign-up bonus over there, and I plan to eventually get the Capital One Venture X, which also gets 2x on everything and is a much better travel card. But for other people out there, I think the simplicity of the Citi Trifecta and the really solid points multipliers could make this an interesting setup to look into for the average person. Now, if you want to get any one of the 3 credit cards in the Citi Trifecta, you're gonna need a good credit score that's at least above 700 first. So make sure you go ahead and check out this video over here next on how you can easily increase your credit score. But as always, thank you so much for watching.